Welcome, everyone. So as you already mentioned, Jen, I would like to talk today about the red team side, so about red teamers, penetration testers, and how in my role I can empower those people. Also sharing some strategies for team motivation, for success, and for also having purpose and fun at work, because this is also very important. Pen testing is not a job, it's a passion. And I think the pen testers amongst us, there are some, at least I have met some already in the audience. The pen testers amongst us, I know it's not like a 9-to-5 job. It's a passion, it's a dedication. You do everything you can in order to detect the best, the amazingest findings. You do this with everything, with your heart, with all the curiosity you bring with, to have the best attack paths, to exploit the vulnerabilities. It's hard to find people like you, penetration testers, red teamers, on the market, because there's not many, to find good ones. And it's even harder to keep them in the organizations. And that's why I think it's very important to set the right environment, to set the right conditions in order to motivate the people accordingly, in order to appreciate them accordingly, and to do everything that can be done in order to show purpose at work for organizations, using the knowledge, the great knowledge that you bring with it, that you can contribute for the organizations in order to help organizations to protect themselves, the organizations and also partners, providers that are also integrated, but also protecting society and in the end, individual lives. And every one of you is playing a great role in that, and that's why I think it's so important to really have an eye on you and to, as I said, to do everything to set the right conditions. In my role, I would bring those ideas, those strategies, what I can do. I'm a leader of, you said, Jen, more than 40 cybersecurity experts, penetration testers, red teamers, also technical coordinators who do the planning, the organization of those assessments, and then also process assessors that are in my team. And so I also had the pleasure to grow this team from about 20 people to now more than 40 people within the last 2 years. So there's a great demand, luckily, and we could also show the great success of the work in order to be able to grow in that way. I get positive feedback, very positive feedback from my team, from everyone who works with me. This is something which motivates me, and I can give this back then to the whole team, to everyone who works with me, in order to bring the motivation there to everyone as well. One famous statement was, Bettina, don't change. So this was something that I kept for me, because it reminded me that it's on the right way, what I'm doing for the team, with the team, to really show the success there. About motivating the team. So what I think, what's really important are different factors, different key aspects. On the one hand side, to really show authentic, empathetic leadership. What this means, I would shortly talk about that. Also to help the people grow, to help them grow in a personal but also in a technical way, and to bring technical challenges, not to have a boring job there, to create a trusted atmosphere, to do the right collaboration amongst team members, but also outside the team. And also to bring the right connection between IT and cybersecurity. From my background, I have an IT background, and I've worked in IT for many years. I can bring in different perspectives to the cybersecurity people and the other way around. And what this means, I will share. So to show an authentic and empathetic leadership, for me it's very important to support the people, to help them grow, to see what they really need. Everyone has individual skills, individual wishes, individual requirements, expectations. So I think it's very important to listen to each and every one, to really understand what is the wish, what is the need, what can I do, what can the organization do for the people to help them grow. For some of them, it's very important, for example, to keep up with the newest technologies in terms of trainings. So to make possible that the trainings can be attended even in times of cost pressure, maybe not having so much budget for that, but still fighting for that and giving the people the opportunity to develop further, and attending trainings on the one hand side a very important topic. On the other hand, it's important to attend certain events like B-Sides, but also other ones like the Black Hat, for example, like DEFCON, like BrewCon, to exchange there, to learn from each other, to learn from the best ones, also to do team building. It's not taken for granted that people can attend those all those great events on an organizational budget, but I do everything I can in order to really make this possible and to let the people go there. On the other hand, the life as a penetration tester, if you do this for many years, it can also be very lonely after a certain time if you are doing those assessments just on your own. And it's important for lots of people to work in a team, to feel integrated. So that's why I can also ensure that, of course, depending on the complexity of the assessment on the project, the people work together in teams, that 2 or more penetration testers are working together on an assessment. And this is even more important by working internationally, so having the teams distributed in different countries, in 3 different countries in Europe, with a little bit different time zones as well, and being in the home office. So most of the guys, girls, they work from home. Therefore, it's even more important to have this interconnection, this collaboration, and to work together. It's also very important to foster a sensitive communication, so a safe place where everyone can speak up, where everyone can bring in ideas, share concerns even, in order to have a trustful exchange and a trustful environment. And of course, very important also to give the right appreciation for the great work. So whatever can be done here, for example, celebrating best findings we detect within the team. Who has the best one, the most amazing one? How did anyone come to this finding? To learn from it, and also to give the opportunity to share the knowledge, and also to shine. Not everyone likes that, maybe not in a bigger audience, in a bigger community, but in a safe environment, in a team where you can really trust each other. The people also like to talk about that, to share it, and it's a great appreciation. Also appreciating certifications. It's very important for the team to have the right qualifications, also combined with the certifications in the end. And this, if someone is passing a certificate, then that's a big hooray as well, and a big congratulation going on in the virtual environment, so but letting everyone share and being part of that. On the other hand, it's about growth and technical challenges, and I already mentioned some examples. So seeing what the people really want, what the people really need, also in order to develop, in order to grow. And as mentioned in the beginning, the team I could grow from, or I could almost double double the team in a relatively short time. So there was chances for other people to also grow into new roles, to take over leadership roles, to come from a technical expert role, being red teamer, being penetration tester, and then leading a team of penetration testers, leading a team of red teamers, having also successors of this leading role. So really new responsibilities, new areas to work in, to grow. And for those who would like to get into this step, it was a great opportunity. And I, with the leadership experience I had, it's about 10 years of leadership in different roles, first in IT or for the last 5 years in cybersecurity. I could also coach the people. What is important? How to set the right strategies, how to motivate the people in the teams, how to collaborate with each other. And this is something that really goes throughout the team and creates a good and sportive team atmosphere, team spirit. Also to promote strategic initiatives, innovative initiatives. So it's very boring to only have one penetration test after the other, to only have one red team assessment after the other. It's very important to also provide interesting research topics. For example, how do we test AI applications? It was coming up now a year ago, more or less, as a new topic. How do we approach this? And creating the room for that in order to have time to go to trainings, to exchange, to do kind of research, how to set up the right testing methodologies, the right testing approaches. This is something that needs to be created and something very important from my point of view, also to push forward. Technical challenges, interesting topics. For a penetration tester, after a while, it's really boring to only have web application tests, infrastructure tests. What else can we test? What else is out there? And there's so much in a big organization. For example, doing product assessments, doing assessments in the OT environment, ensuring that those kinds of assessments are really requested, that those assessments are important. In OT, there's so much to catch up. In IT, that's in the meanwhile a more or less, cyber secure thinking or mindset established. But in OT, in the products area as well, it's really important also to create the transparency there, to test more, to improve more in the end. And those are the things, what I can influence, of course, in order to create the awareness that those assessments are necessary, that we need to do more of that, and to provide those assessments in the end, of course, to the colleagues who are testing. Trusted atmosphere. I've talked about this already, to ensure that the people feel safe to speak up, to create this safe environment. It's also important to stand behind the teams, to stand behind each and every one. There's always something that could go wrong, but really then clarifying what is the root cause, why specific communication issues maybe. That is something I see also in my role, in order to really stand and behind the people, support the people in everything they're doing. A trustful communication, and I will come to this as well, also a very important topic to handle the sensitive issues. We detect the critical findings. We detect how to handle this in the right way. That you enforce an effective communication in order to improve, to solve the issues, but also doing this in the right way, in a very sensitive way, in order to have the right audience who can really influence it in the end. And building this trust then in the community through the transparency that can be created with those results. Collaboration, I mentioned this already. Very important to have one team. I told you that in this area of growth, it was also necessary to create sub-teams, because 40 people that cannot be just led by one person, or it could be, but it's not very efficient anymore. There needs to be a certain structure. And therefore it was really important during that time to ensure that there is no silo thinking in the separate teams, that there's still a collaboration amongst the teams on the one hand side, having Pentesters, red teamers, but then the coordinators who do all the organizational topics, and really working closely together so that the technical guys, girls, they can focus on the technical assessments, whereas the other topics are managed, but still there needs to be a very close collaboration in order to make sure that the topics are addressed accordingly. Connecting IT and cybersecurity. And there was a talk before regarding development. This is also something I could bring in through my experience, through my past in IT, where I saw there's so much cost pressure. The solutions, they need to function. There is no time and no budget for security. It has changed in the meanwhile, I guess, or it's still a way to go. But there's lots of pressure, and those people, they really have the pressure to bring the things to work, to let them function. Cybersecurity is still something that keeps up and that costs something in the end. And bringing those perspectives also to the cybersecurity people to understand, why do we have those issues? Why do we detect so many findings, so many critical findings? And also the other way around, bringing those findings, the attack paths, the awareness to the people in IT. This is also something very, very important to create this understanding in order to improve, to bring it in. Where can some measures already be implemented in the development process of certain solutions, and also how can it be tested in the end? How can it be improved? How can we make sure to have cybersecure solutions with the best effort, in the most efficient way? Detecting the same findings over and over again. I think there is nothing more frustrating for a penetration tester, for a red teamer, than detecting the same findings all the time. Always the same symptoms, whereas it was reported, the findings are fixed, still there, or maybe some are fixed and other ones are popping up. This is something where it's very important to show purpose at work, so that something can really be improved in order to get to a higher cybersecurity posture. And this can be done in the different ways: pen testing, red teaming, second line of defense, a new topic that I could also implement, or cybersecurity assurance we call it, going to a global assessment transparency. What this means for our team for penetration testing: staying up to date with the newest technologies, focusing on those technical tests only, and not having this the overhead that needs to be done on an organizational side. Mitigation and exception handling, so having or making sure that all the findings are collected, but then also monitored and triggered to make sure that there is a kind of escalation process behind, that the asset owners are getting information about when to fix what finding. And if this is not happening, then at least there needs to be an explanation, a risk acceptance, an exception handling, why this cannot be done. And if this is not be done in the right way, then there's an escalation process ensured, that this is really made transparent and something is moving forward. Otherwise, you will never improve. Red teaming. It's, from my point of view, not enough to only have the penetration tests with a limited scope, but really acting as a real attacker would do it, moving throughout the network, doing lateral movement, also testing if detection mechanisms work in the right way, being very silent, but still having a certain target, a certain worst case that would be attacked, and showing these big impacts that a red team can have here. Being domain admin in the end for certain domains. Taking this knowledge and showing this to the right people, to the management, to really make them aware of what could happen if an attacker would go throughout our network, making them aware and ensuring that the red team is really important, that it could grow a lot. So when I took over the team, it was in 2020, it started with the red teaming exercises. These were the first steps to experiment it. In the meanwhile, it's a really well-known team. It's a grown team with many more people in it. It's a team that is well-known and also very well seen from different customers as well. Having re-hacking, also purple teaming, having the red team and the blue team, what Jen in the beginning also announced, seeing how they work together or what can be detected, what kinds of attack vectors, and seeing what can be improved in those processes, in their detection processes as well. Conducting retests, also a very important topic. So not only showing the findings and doing remediation or initiating remediation, but also making sure that there's real remediation going on and also doing retests. And if there was no solution or no finding fixed, then also making this sure, addressing this at the right level. Second line of defense, that's a more holistic approach to also look behind the scenes, to also test the processes, the root cause, why do we have those technical symptoms, to see the root causes behind, and also to show solutions, how this can be remediated. The global assessment transparency, I would like to show, so everything what we detect in the team, that's on the one hand side very important, but it's important to also see what is globally out there in terms of finding, to collect this, to work with this, to aggregate the data, to go more in a data-driven cybersecurity. And now, amazing finding, but can I talk about it? And I think now we are over with the time. Just maybe one last sentence. What I think is very important, to have the right sensitive communication, yes, but the right effective communication in all the different areas that can be done. So having the management on the one hand side informed, if there is something critical detected, having also escalation procedures in mind, using all the results in red teaming, in second line of defense we find, in order to address it at the CISOs, at the ISOs in the organization, in security boards. They're using existing channels, existing boards to address it, also to ensure that projects are being set up in order to remove findings, to really improve. If those communication channels are not set up, really, then I found it also my task to ensure this, to find the right people, the right stakeholders in order to address the topics properly and to make sure that we can enforce remediation and improvement here. We have a top findings poster. We celebrate the best findings. We do CVEs, publish those. So these are also examples to really communicate the great results we have and make the outside world aware of those. And in the end, I would like to thank you all for the great job, for helping to really protect organizations, society, and also individual lives. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Bettina. So, does anyone have a really good question for Bettina? No pressure. Any questions? I don't know if I saw a hand go up and go down. Okay. No, go. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for your speech. I really enjoyed listening to you. And I really enjoy also when women speak up in the podium. And that's my question related to. So how do you empower women? Or how many, like maybe in your team, how is the percentage of men to women? Or other in like inclusivity of all backgrounds and so on. But especially my question, being a woman, addressing this part.
Thanks a lot. And that's also a very important topic to me and also to the surrounding I'm working in, to push the diversity topic forward and also to help women on, especially to contribute to this great, to the great cybersecurity area and to really help that to protect everything we can. What I do in my team, so the percentage is, I would say it's also rather low, maybe 15% women and the rest male colleagues. But we are also striving for that. And I do this with different measures inside, helping with coaching and with exchanges and so on, that the women really feel motivated and also engaged and to give them the self-awareness, I would say, that they can do lots more than they sometimes think they would be able to do. And also having different communication measures, like there's a mentoring program going on where specific people in the organization, but also outside of the organization, are being mentored on the one hand side by me as an example, but also from other colleagues, in order to see how do they feel, where can we help, where can we support, to help them grow in this area. Something really important, I think, to make them strong.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay.
Hello. You represented a red team here from pretty huge organization, which have variety of products, and you mentioned CVEs. So what do you think for the companies which have their own red teams? If you found as a red team in the huge company, if you found a vulnerability in your own product, devices or equipment, should you do this like silent patch and just saying like this bug is fixed, or you just should go for the normal disclosure over CVEs and so on, so everybody knows like how many bugs you found in your products and so on? So what is your opinion here?
Yeah, thanks a lot for the question. I think it really depends on the organization and about how to treat special critical topics. In the organization I work in, I'm in the pretty lucky environment that CVEs can be published and it can be made transparent what kind of findings are in the products, and that's very important for the culture and also for being transparent. But I think it really differs and it depends on the culture of the organization. But I guess this is the optimal way to go, and I can only promote processes like that, to work with CERT, with product CERT in this case, to really have the right processes set up to use those processes and to communicate about it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Bettina. This is all of the time that we have. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon, and one more big round of applause. Thank you.